Arnold Schwarzenegger is the Terminator. Your future is in its hands.
This time, there are two. Terminator 2. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This time, he's back. For good.
Trust me.
We hope you enjoyed the ride.
You did not make it, Victor. You killed a Chicago police officer. Chicago gets him first. I have my honor.
With this much friction,
I give up. This whole thing's very Russian.
there's gotta be heat.
I think kills this.
Red heat. Arnold Schwarzenegger is the running man. He's playing for a prize. The prize is his life.
How about the life?
The running man. Now, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Commando.
Let's party.
But this time, it's picked the wrong man to hunt.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Century Fox presents Arnold Schwarzenegger. Predator.
I know I am. I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit.
The captain and I have proof that he's head of an international drug cartel.
I don't want to hear it, McBain! You're out of here!
Oh, yes, sir. Everything's gonna be just
Mendoza!
I don't want to hear it, McBain. That cannon of yours is against regulations. In this department, we go by the book.
By book. Nice to see you.
McBain!
Only your desk. Meeting adjourned.
Okay, today we are going to be looking at the films and career of Arnold Schwarzenegger. With a thick Austrian accent, a bodybuilder from a small European village went on to be one of Hollywood's biggest stars, marry into the prestigious Kennedy family, building a fortune, and be the governor of California. This amazing rags-to-riches story of megastar Arnold Schwarzenegger is the true story of a penniless immigrant achieving the American dream. Arnold Alois Schwarzenegger was born July 30th, 1947, in the town of Thal, Austria. Even from a young age, he was into physical fitness and bodybuilding, competing in several contests across Europe. It was when he emigrated to the United States in 1968, at only 21, that his star began to rise. Starting in 1970, Arnold Schwarzenegger ruled competitive bodybuilding, winning 5 Mr. Universe titles and 7 Mr. Olympia titles, and becoming a major sports icon, bringing an international audience to bodybuilding. But today we are looking at his starring roles in movies. So we won't be looking at cameo roles like he had in Welcome to the Jungle, which you may know as The Rundown in the US, the little part he did in Expendables, #1, or the image likeness, or whatever you want to call it, they used in Terminal Salvation.
I lied.
Wait, one second. I don't need any help.
Joanne, just a second. I want you to wait right here. I'd like you to see what goes on. After all, this is what I owe you. I owe this much to you. And I understand you're nervous.
Well, I'm not nervous.
Yes, you are. You're nervous like I was when I was a kid. I was in high school.
I mean, if you can't talk, you can at least show.
Okay.
How's Detroit?
Oh, we already knocked him dead in Detroit. We're in Pittsburgh now. And everybody everywhere loves the picture.
Oh, that's terrific. Listen, I have really exciting news, baby. I signed the contract for the TV series.
Stop the madness! Stop the madness! Stop the madness!
What's the matter with you? Want to keep that 90-pound corpse for the rest of your death? Keep pumping. I tell the story. Tonight's story is about an old man who finds a new wrinkle in a fountain of youth. A twisted tale that we call the switch. It was the beginning of a memorable journey. On a whole route from Springfield to Washington, at almost every station was gathered a crowd of people in a hope to catch a glimpse of the face of the president-elect, or at least to see the...
Let's talk a little bit about desserts. What you don't want to do is eat donuts. No donuts.
Thank you, Arnold. Thank you, Joseph.
Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, where are we?
The future. Final battle between humans and machines.
Oh, great. I'd rate this rescue about a 2. Maybe a 1.
Come on, it smells like lemonade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see your point. Yeah, yours is very, very strong. It's like ammonia. I'm actually getting dizzy, to tell you the truth.
Come on, let's beat it. We're leaving. Hasta la vista, baby. Pardon me, gentlemen. Do any of you know how to stand at attention?
You mean stand up straight? Yes, we know how to stand up straight.
Then pray do so. I shall be using you to train the man. In what, however, I can't imagine.
Security? No, but we do have a slight problem.
Have fun.
What's the problem?
I'm busy anyway, so give this job to my friend here. He loves playing in the jungle, right?
Right.
That's right. Hey, why don't we have dinner?
Sure, when?
In 1,000 years.
Too soon.
Prepare to be crushed in tiny tennis.
Okay, let's see the arms. You all look up on that. Very good. Just give me 5 push-ups. 1, 2. All right, now let me see if I got this straight. 12 years ago, your wife kicked you out, and then you and your dumb son moved in with your brother.
He wasn't done with the beginning.
Whoa.
No?
I did not believe you what you just said.
I didn't believe myself either.
Right? You just said words. Just believe it.
Okay. I'm gonna lift this son of a bitch. You feel that?
The 70s. His first major acting role was Hercules in New York, even though he was dubbed in most versions. There is a version that he's undubbed, but it's hard to come by. So he played Hercules, but was credited as Arnold Strong, Mr. Universe. So in 1976 he was in Stay Hungry with Jeff Bridges and Sally Field. Then a year later in the documentary Pumping Iron with the amazing Arnold Schwarzenegger, star of Conan the Barbarian, even though this tape came after 1977, obviously. So this is about the bodybuilders at the time. Then in 1979 he had a small part in Scavenger Hunt, playing a character called Lars.
Every now and then a question comes your way that perplexes the mind. And I've been asked to rank my top 3 favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So I'm going to have to sleep on this one, so I'll be back. So after a sleepless night and pondering this question, which was put to me by Gareth, and thank you Gareth for asking me to contribute, fantastic. It was not an easy answer to come to, but I came to one. So here we go. So in that all-important third spot, a film that more than likely a lot of people will put as their #1 favourite Arnie movie, and that is Terminator 2. Yes, now Terminator 2, a fantastic movie, a movie that does so much right, but it does do some stuff wrong. It does. There are elements of it that don't sit right with me, that I'm not happy with, that I can talk about this film quite in depth as to why. But it's a great film. It is. It's a near-on perfect film, but it's not perfect. I have issues. And I've done video on that, actually. But there we go. And now, dropping down into that second spot. But before I get to it, it depended on the day of week what my answer would be. Today is a Friday, so thusly I went this way with it. It's interchangeable. These two, for me, are up there as the top films, and a joint #1. But if I have to go second spot, it'd be The Terminator. Yes, the very first Terminator movie. I prefer this over Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I like the guerrilla filmmaking. I watched this film as a young kid. It scared the hell out of me. I would go to bed at night and that red light, that, you know, if I had the TV on in the room with the red light on, or the VCR player, just the red light, it would get my imagination running. And that, you know, just where Arnie's got the one eye missing and you can see the red, just that element of it. Me and friends used to watch this film, and one friend was squeamish, and at this scene where the eye's removed, me and my other friend would be munching away stuff to make him feel sick. Had a fantastic time with it. And as an evil Terminator, Arnie was just spot on, and this film was groundbreaking in itself. There we go. And then, so the all-important first spot. Yes, that very first, my very favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger film has to go to Batman and Robin. Yes. Nope. I say in jest. Nope, it's not that. Scrap that. The Predator. No, not The Predator. Predator from 1987. The very first Predator movie with Arnie. Now, the reason I put this top today, because there's a bit of a better performance from Arnie in it, in the sense that he's not playing just a killer cyborg as he does in Terminator. A bit more range from him. This film, for me, again, spot on. Arnie's performance in it is fantastic. Memorable character. A character that we all wanted to see more of, but we never got the opportunity to. That being Dutch. But I will say here that in this film, Arnie does play second fiddle to the creature himself. The creature is the star of the film, but it is my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger film. As I'm sat filming this, tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll be Terminator. The next day it'll be Predator. It's interchangeable like that. But anyway, so again, thank you to Gareth for asking me to contribute. And there we go. So I must get away because I've got to get to the chopper.
Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer from the Movie Cheer podcast, and here I am going to give you my top 3 Arnie movies. Now, I gotta say, this was hard to do because I feel like my top 3 one day will be completely different another day, and I imagine I'll probably look back at this video and be like, why did I choose those 3 movies? Because he's had so many great movies. I mean, he's him and Stallone, for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, are the ultimate action stars, especially coming out like the 90s. I think prime 90s is like Arnie's era. He was just awesome, putting out some cracking movies, and late 80s as well. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Arnie. I remember growing up having all the VHS and just having like a line of Arnie movies on the VHS, and it's still the same now on DVD. I've got a ton of Arnie movies, and still to this day really enjoy watching every single one of them. I think they're all great. But I've got to narrow it down to a top 3, so let's go for it. Top 3, I'm going to start off with Terminator 2. I've got the quadrilogy here. Terminator 2, I think it is just... Terminator 1 is a really good movie, but I think it just ups it on every level for the sequel. You know, there's just a bit of everything, a bit more action. There's a bit of comedy in there as well at times, I feel, with Arnie and with John Connor, the young John Connor. I just think it's a solid movie, though. I think it's an absolutely, a 10 out of 10 film for sure. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. I will say as well, I do enjoy the fourth movie in the franchise, which does feature Arnie in like I think they like sort of reuse footage from like the first movie or the second movie. The one with Christian Bale. I actually really like that one. What's that? Terminator Salvation. Really good movie. But yeah, Terminator 2 for me is probably, let's say this is number 3. I'm going to go for 3 on this one. Yeah. Actually, no. This is my second choice. This is my second choice. I'm going to go, this is my top 3 ranking. This is number 2. Let's go now for number 3. So I'm kind of doing this. I didn't really plan this well. I should have done this in 3, 2, 1, but yeah. So my third choice is Total Recall. Just a superb movie. I think it was based on a book, was it? You kind of like watching this movie. The movie is Arnie's character. He goes to Mars, but it's all to do. You don't know whether in the end really was it all like kind of like a dream. And they have this program called the Total Recall program where they can implant memories into your brain, and then he goes in there, the implant of memory, and then you kind of like watching this film. You think, is this part of the memory they put him in, or have they sort of like done something to his brain and he realizes who his true identity is? And it's an absolutely cracking movie. I always think of this, obviously, there's a few moments in this were very memorable to me, but I always remember this as a kid at the end when they're all like, I think it's the end of the movie, or I think there's like flashes in the beginning of the movie, but they're all sort of like running out of air and the faces are all going crazy. That's like I always remember that, but it's just a solid movie, Total Recall. I actually didn't mind the remake. It wasn't as good as this one, but I still think it was a watchable movie, but it didn't feature Arnie, so that didn't get in the top 3. So this is my third. Number 3, Terminator 2 is number 2. And let's go now for the number 1 pick. And I imagine this is probably a number 1 for a lot of people. And I bet a lot of these top 3s and these rankings are probably the same for a lot of people as well. Arnie in Predator. Superb film. Just pure action. I mean, if you are looking for a film with pure action, you gotta get this one. It is the one to watch. It is fantastic. Just Arnie's character is great. He goes into this jungle, getting hunted by this alien monster, the Predator, and then he's got to then try and hunt down the Predator and kill the Predator to survive. And it's great. And on a recent watch of this, after watching Stranger Things for the first time last year, I noticed there's a few references to Stranger Things in this, even though it was a movie in the 80s. So Stranger Things basically took a few names from Predator, and I thought it was really cool. So like Hopper is the character in Stranger Things. The full name, I can't think of his first name now. It's not Dennis Hopper. But yeah, his character is a name referenced in the movie, and also Hawkins is a member of Arnie's crew in this movie, I believe, which is the name of the town. So cool little references, and I thought it was good to see on the rewatch. But yeah, they are my top 3 of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. My ranking of top 3. I think I got the good choices.
Alright, people. Yep, what can I say? Video Tasties is doing this thing about Arnold films. Sure, you can talk about your top 10 or your favorite, but I choose my top 4, people. Well, are you ready, people? Are you ready to see my bloody review about my top 4? But I got more top films, but I don't feel like trying to go through the tapes and find them, if you know what I mean, people. Here we go, people. The Running Man is one of my favourite films of my childhood. You can say childhood, look, rated R. But I seen it back in 1988, and it's my favourite film of Arnold's because it's very good. I'll show you what I mean, people. Yeah, people, yep. This film got some dark humour to it. You know what I mean? Some. But it's one of my favourite films when I was a kid and now. Yeah, I first seen it in 1988. Yeah, this one came out in 87 or I don't know, but I've seen it in the 80s anyway, people. Yeah, that's number 4. People, it's number 4. Next one is Commando. Good dirty film of Arnold's, good action, good storyline. I reckon to me, this people, it's just a it's a good storyline. You know what I mean? People, you don't have to think when you watch it. It's just full of action. It's a good bloody film, people. Okay, I show you what I mean. Yeah, you see what I mean, people? It's a good action. It's one of Arnold's best. And everybody wish he made more of these films. Oh, hang on a minute. This is... that's right, because that film, Die Hard, supposed to be Commando 2, but Arnold did not want to do it. And then they changed it into Die Hard. Oh, you know what I mean. Just check it out on Google, and I'm not talking about the bloody thing. Oh, yep. That's number 3, people. Let's party. Predator. This is one of my favourite films too. I've got so many favourites, people. No, this is one of my favourites anyway. Good action. Good effects for its time. This before CGI, bloody bullshit. People. This is one of my childhood films too, people, that I watched back in the 80s when it first came out too. Yep, people, I got to tell you, people, because of Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's why I like doing weights. See, people, because he got me into weights in my teenage years, but I tried doing weights in my teenage years, but I've done it in my 30s because I wasn't motivated in my teenage years to do it, people. Right, people, just go on. Right, people, just get on and talk about and show the good part of the film. You see, people, good action, good bloody film, so I can say, people. Yep, that's that one. The last one. I got many more Arnold films in there somewhere, and there's some Arnold films I got in there I don't want to show. Like Kindergarten Cop is one of them. Right, people, The Terminator. This film here, people, I watched quite a fair bit in my, again, when I was a kid. This film here is badass. This is when the Terminator was. This character, Arnold character, was badass. Not like all the other sequels that turned soft into a bloody wimp. This is when he's badass. This film here is like a sci-fi horror. As you know what I mean, people. You know what I mean. You see what I mean, people. This film's good, but but I like part 2. Part 2 is good too. Part 2 is my favorite, people, as well. But part 2 is the best action film of the 90s of all time. But this is when the Terminator was badass. This is when he was a Terminator. Not like all the other films they made. Like I said, he was a bloody wimp. Alright, people. Yep. Alright, people, you got a fair idea what I'm talking about now. Oh yeah, and here, people, don't forget, part 2. It's alright, and I got this other Arnold film hiding behind here. You can stay there, Kindergarten Cop. And I got Twins in there somewhere too. And I got Total Recall, was my favourite, in there somewhere, and Conan Barbarian, and a couple of others. Yeah. See, people, I'm going to show me my favourite Arnold film of all time. When he was a badass. See, people, see See, people? That's because of Arnold got me. I'm into weights. I don't just sit here and watch movies and I work out. Right, people. Time to end this with the thing with the end. We're showing a bit of Terminator 1 again in the future war. Rather good effects for its time. Right, people, time to end this. The end, people, the end.
The 80s. His first film in the 80s was a TV movie called The Jane Mansfield Story, where he played Mickey. So this Austrian-born bodybuilder and former Mr. Universe plays a Hungarian-born bodybuilder and former Mr. Universe. There you go. Then, in 1982, he got the career-making Conan the Barbarian, an awesome sword and sorcery film. And then it was quickly followed up in 1984 with Conan the Destroyer, but that's more of a silly fantasy film. His star-making turn then came about in The Terminator from 1984 as well, the film that really put him on the map. Then in 1985 he was supposed to reprise his role as a cameo in Red Sonja as Conan, but technical difficulties with the rights and being conned into a bigger part, he played the role of Calidor instead. His Action Man status was secured with 1985's Commando, balls-to-the-wall action film from the time. And then Raw Deal in 1986, where he plays an FBI agent that goes undercover to take out the mob. It was in April 1986 that Schwarzenegger married TV journalist Maria Shriver, and they went on to have 4 kids together. It was in 1987 he had 2 films out. The excellent sci-fi Predator. As you can see, his name was a big draw in the 80s. And The Running Man, based on a Stephen King book, or a Richard Bachman book written by Stephen King, as it was. 1988 was another year he had 2 films. The buddy cop thriller Red Heat from Walter Hill, and his first attempt at a comedy film with Danny DeVito in Twins, directed by Ghostbusters' Ivan Reitman.
Hey everyone, Bumper here. Okay, so back with a video tonight. I'm not sure if I should be addressing YouTube or Gareth at Video Tasties really, but either way, I'm here to give, God, excuse me, an order of Arnold Schwarzenegger films basically. Gareth at Video Tasties sent out a mission to a few content creators to get their thoughts on these Arnie movies. He gave us 2 options. He said, you want to just pick your favourite 3 Arnie movies, or you can rate the 10 in the picture. So I thought I'd just rate the 10 in the picture, and I don't really want to whittle it down to 3. So, alright then. So, straight into it then, number 10, kind of at my era when I'd stopped watching Arnie really, The Last Action Hero. So, not a bad film, but not one of my go-to ones really. And like I said, I got a bit older and I was a bit past Arnie then by the time that film came out. So, yeah, number 10, Last Action Hero. Then in at number 9 then is one of the earlier films. It might be the earliest film on the list, I don't know. It's Conan. So I haven't got anything against Conan. I think they're pretty good. I watch them both. I find it hard to differentiate between the 2 thinking off the top of my head. You know, but I can remember scenes from each film, like where he's fighting the serpent in the water and all things like that, and James Earl Jones being in one of them. So I do like them. They are nostalgic for me. I definitely buy them on 4K and whatever. But, you know, someone's got to come in 9th, and that's Conan the Barbarian. Okay. Number 8. So I haven't seen this film for a long time, but I was big into Arnie when I was younger, so I have seen it probably 20, 30 times in my lifetime. And I always remember not liking it quite as much as some of the other ones. But, you know, it's by no means a bad film. But number 8, Red Heat. Okay, so I always remember like the scene at the start where they're in like the baths and there's all the naked women. Watched that scene a few times. But yeah, so it's got a comedy element with James Belushi. But yeah, it's alright. It's just not one of the more memorable ones for me. So number 8, Red Heat. Number 7, then again, one of the earlier ones. I just find the film a bit boring compared to some of the other ones for the action scenes and the one-liners. So number 7, Raw Deal. Then at number 6 then, okay, so is the sci-fi spectacular that is Total Recall. So the comedy works very better in this one for me with Arnie in it, and the other guy and the woman with the 3 boobs, and he's like, I wish I had 3 hands. So yeah, I do like Total Recall, it's pretty good. So that comes in at number 6. This one might shock people, but at number 5 is Terminator 2. Okay, so I do like Terminator 2. It's a great film, and I respect it for being, you know, such a movement in the special effects era during the early 90s when they were just pushing the powers of CGI. It is a good film. It's well cast as well and everything, but you know, it's just the 4 after this are just absolutely boss films in my opinion. So number 5, Terminator 2. So in at number 4, it's the number 1, Man on the Run, The Running Man. Okay, so I love The Running Man. It's got all the trademark Arnie one-liners. It's got a good cast in it as well. I love all the little bad guys in the setup of the game show and having Arnie progress through these progressively harder levels. You know, the girl in it's funny as well when she kills the guy, calls him a Christmas tree. I can't remember the exact lines. You've got Buzzsaw in it, and you've got the guy from the wrestling, Jesse Ventura. Yeah, so number 4, you can't beat it, The Running Man. Number 3 then, okay, so I do love this film, maybe not quite as much as some of the other people. It probably would top most people's lists, but number 3 for me, Predator. Okay, so I do really like Predator. It's an amazing film. I remember watching it when I was younger and just being amazed when Andy takes the mask off towards the end and he's like, "You want ugly motherfucker." I used to love that scene, like, so yeah, I love the film. It's just absolute masculinity overload, and it's just all these muscle-bound men in the jungle, giant machine guns. My favourite one-liner as well of Arnie when he kicks in the door in the Vietnam place and he's like, "Knock, knock." I love it. So yeah, Predator, amazing. So there's 2 left. So number 2, I didn't realise I loved this film as much as I did till I watched it the other night. So I'm glad, coincidentally, I watched it before doing this video, because I might not put it so high up the list. But number 2 is The Terminator. Okay, The Terminator is amazing. It's like James Cameron thought, oh, there's all these 80s slashes out there. I'm going to give them my version of it with a sci-fi twist. And yeah, it works gloriously, man. You know, the scenes when he's going through the cop shop, just shooting everything to bits, and when he's just knocking on people's doors and he's just Sarah Connor, yeah, boom. Yeah, it's just absolutely awesome. I just love the old stalk and slash kind of feel about it. All right, so that's The Terminator. And this has got to be number 1. It might not be number 1 on everyone's list because it's super cheesy, but it's got all the best one-liners, all the best characters. It's just an amazing film. So that is Commando. From the very get-go, when the guy turns up to speak to him and the daughter's like, "You got a warrant?" And it's just joke after joke. It just makes me laugh, you know, when he's on the plane and he gives the guy an hiding and he's like, "Don't disturb my friend, he's dead tired." And then when he drops the guy off the cliff, I can't think what his name is, he's got a girl's name, Annie Stacy or something. And yeah, let off some steam, Bennett. And you've got the montage scene as well, you know, when he's putting all the guns on him and all the face makeup and whatever, like the camouflage makeup. It's just got everything you want in an Arnie movie. It is just an Arnie buffet. So that's Bumpers number 1. I'm a bit tired doing this video, so sorry if I haven't come across with loads of enthusiasm, but I do love Arnie, absolutely awesome. I want to get a nice big collection on 4K when I can. So yeah, I've been Bumper. Cheers.
Hey everybody, CJ at the Office of Pop Culture here. Daily doses of pop culture from my Instagram feed directly to your eyeballs. Hanging out in the kitchen today because Gareth at Video Tasties has asked me to give you, fine people, my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So, number 3, Pumping Iron. Sure, it's as fictional as anything else ever made, but it's wildly entertaining. Number 2, Predator, the perfect sci-fi action movie with a great cast. And number 1, with a bullet, Terminator. I thought long and hard about maybe doing Terminator 2, maybe doing Conan the Barbarian, went with Terminator. The perfect B-movie, the perfect role for Schwarzenegger at that point in his career. And those were my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Check us out at the Office of Pop Culture on Instagram, and we will see you next time.
What's Gareth over at Video Tasties doing? Oh, he's got a cool challenge. Oh, neat. What's that? Welcome back to Colin in Cleveland. I'm a big fan of Video Tasties, and his channel is doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger video challenge for February. So the challenge involves picking your top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger films or rank the top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger films he has listed in the picture. Let's start with number 10, Conan the Barbarian.
What good is a sword against sorcery? If you're going to learn how to fight, then learn with a real weapon, not with a toothpick.
Obviously a big role for Arnold, not quite his breakthrough, but still an important role in his career. I'm not really a big sword and fantasy fan, so Conan has never really been a big appeal to me. I definitely see Arnold's charisma. I see the influence of John Milius behind the camera that was missing in Richard Fleischer's Conan the Destroyer. But among these choices, just gotta call them like I see them. For me, Conan is number 10. Moving on to number 9, Red Heat.
Soviet method is more economical.
I definitely enjoyed Arnold's performance as a Russian police officer. I like that it's a contemporary setting with firearms instead of swords, but at the end of the day, Red Heat is not one I revisit very often. I've always been a big Walter Hill fan, and the chemistry between Belushi and Arnold was fine, but I don't know, something about the writing just didn't come together for me. So that is Red Heat, number 9. Moving on to number 8, Commando.
I'm afraid you'd miss me. Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last? I lied.
What'd you do, Sully?
I let him go.
I'm definitely a big fan of Mark Lester's 1985 film Commando, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger as John Matrix. But if I had to try to put a word on the reason it's never ranked higher, there's just something simple about it. It works, it's fun, it's good. I enjoy the relationship with Radon Chong. I enjoy seeing Arnold as a father, especially in silly moments like eating ice cream with his daughter, played by Alyssa Milano. I like how Alyssa Milano fends for herself and, tries to get herself out of situations. So for me, Commando is definitely fun, but it's not one I revisit very often. Hey John, good to see ya. I didn't know you were standing there. I'm still trying to figure out why there was a kid's toy line for an R-rated film. I guess because he had a daughter? I don't know. Alright, so that was Commando, coming in at number 8. Moving up to number 7, we've got Predator.
Knock, knock. Stick around.
Obviously a big film, one of Arnold's classics. I definitely love it, I can't say I don't, but among this list, there's definitely films I enjoy watching more. I do love you, Predator, don't get me wrong. You'll always be the second best Arnold movie of 1987. I completely agree with Arnold's decision to put Predator as the big summer release and Running Man in the fall. Arnold knows what he's doing. So that was Predator, coming in at number 7. Next up, we've got Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
And if someone comes up to you with an attitude, you say, hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Definitely a huge film. I was trying to decide if this was the first Arnold Schwarzenegger film I ever saw. It was definitely probably my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film as a kid. I wasn't a big fan of the original Terminator. It was too dark and too scary for me when I was young, so Terminator 2 was more my speed. I mean, what kid didn't dream about having a Terminator to just be their best friend, right? So that's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, coming in at number 6. Alright, looks like we made it to the top 5, and we have Last Action Hero.
Jack, I'm talking to you. And you go in there, and it's your badge.
This is the Lieutenant Governor.
Later, here's what I do. The governor gets you, call me.
From the same director, John McTiernan, as Predator. 1993, the same year John McTiernan directed Die Hard 3. In my opinion, both films that have gone on to increasingly gain greater fan appreciation. Just kind of like every kid wants a Terminator, God did I want to be Danny Madigan. That kid had everything you could want as an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. You got to go into the movie with Jack Slater. Love Last Action Hero. And as much as I love it, it seems like it should be higher than the top 5, but Arnold's got so many great hits, how do you choose? So that was Last Action Hero at number 5. Alright, now we're into the final 4, and of course you gotta have The Terminator from 1984.
The 12 gauge autoloader, the 45 long slide with laser sighting, the Uzi 9mm phased plasma rifle in a 40-watt range.
It's just what you see, pal. You can't do that.
Wrong.
The Terminator was a breakthrough role for Arnold in his career that made him a household name. It's really cool to see Arnold as the bad guy. I like Michael Biehn as Kyle Reese, an everyman hero we can all root for, and of course Linda Hamilton is always amazing as Sarah Connor. So that was The Terminator, number 4. Alright, now we're down to the top 3. Let's go to Total Recall.
See you at the party, Richter!
Obviously, being in the top 3, I'm a big fan of Total Recall, directed by Paul Verhoeven. And even though I am a big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan and I prefer the original Total Recall, I also really enjoyed Colin Farrell's remake, directed by Len Wiseman. A really solid film, and it pulls punches by being PG-13 instead of Paul Verhoeven's R, but still, really fun. Alright, so that was Total Recall, coming in at number 3. This is probably a surprising one, but Raw Deal comes in at number 2.
Down. There is no down. Hey, I'm not a cop. I'm a player.
I really enjoy Raw Deal. I think it's a fun film. It's not a perfect film. Raw Deal has a bit of nostalgia for me. Even though I never saw it as a child, I first watched it as a freshman in college when I bought it in the $5 bin at Walmart on a combo pack with Maximum Overdrive. And I watched it the next morning. You know, it was a Saturday morning, just waking up at like 7 a.m., putting on Raw Deal. And that was the first time I'd really seen the film in continuity or much at all. And I instantly fell in love, and I still love it to this day. So Raw Deal is number 2. Of course, number 1, if you know me, I talk about it all the time. It's no secret. The Running Man, 1987.
Don't forget to send me a copy.
Based on the Richard Bachman story, ghostwritten by Stephen King. Of course, The Running Man is very different than the novelization. I would definitely say the novelization and the film both have a certain dark grittiness to them, but that's about the extent of the connection. The book is much bleaker and darker, and would not have made for a satisfying film. But I would love to see a faithful film adaptation of the Stephen King novel, and I know many other fans of the novel feel the same way. Well, that was my Arnold Schwarzenegger top 10, and it made me wonder, would that be my top 3? And I suppose it would be. Well, actually, on second thought, well, you're still not gonna top Ben Richards, the Butcher of Bakersfield, so Running Man is still number 1. But I'm gonna go with True Lies as my number 2, and number 3, I believe, is Arnold's favorite, Kindergarten Cop, which just inspired a recent animated series he partnered up with Stan Lee to create. Really excited to see that. Alright, hey, thank you Video Tasties for doing this challenge. Thank you for watching. This is Colin in Cleveland. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you soon.
Enough talk! Wait! What's going on?
It's pretty hard to read, but I got an autograph from Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was running for governor. It says, "To Colin, the next action hero, Arnold."
Hey, what up you guys, it's Danny B from the Trash Dish, and this is going to be for Garrett's Arnold Schwarzenegger video. And he wanted to know my 3 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. And surprisingly, I like some of his comedies better than his action movies. So number 3 is going to be Kindergarten Cop. I always liked that one ever since I was a kid. I think it's hilarious to this day. Directed by, Ivan Reitman from the Ghostbusters. Number 2 is going to be Twins with Danny DeVito. I think they're both absolutely hilarious in that movie, and I love that movie. And then number 1, of course, is going to be Terminator, because that is, to me, one of the best action movies of all time. And I prefer Terminator 1 over Terminator 2. Yeah, so that's going to be it. Those are my choices. Alright guys, thanks for watching.
Hello, it's a Ginger Ninja here, all the way from the land down under. I want to thank Gareth for inviting me on to give you my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Now, he did give us an option to do top 3 or to rank 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I chose the top 3 because I thought that's going to be easier than ranking Arnold Schwarzenegger's 10 of Arnold Schwarzenegger's films. Like, that's an impossible task, and kudos to whoever does that, because they're all great. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger is 80s action in a nutshell, literally. If you wanted action, if you wanted comedy, you wanted anything, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the man, because he had the best one-liners and he had the muscles to pull it off. So here we go with my top 3. My first choice for Arnold Schwarzenegger films, Commando. This is, without a doubt, an absolute classic Arnold Schwarzenegger action film. It has everything you want. It has bad guys you love to hate. It has witty one-liners. You know how I told you I'd kill you last? I lied. You know, when Arnold Schwarzenegger walks in carrying a log, or actually a tree on his shoulder, to the end act where he swaps that tree
for a rocket launcher. It's just non-stop. It's action, but there's also those comedic elements with those witty one-liners. You know, let off some steam, Bennett. You can't say no to this one. It is my third choice for Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Now, my second choice for an Arnold Schwarzenegger film may come as a surprise for most, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to choose the sequel. But no, I'm going with The Terminator, the original. Arnold Schwarzenegger is absolutely menacing as the T-800 in his relentless pursuit to hunt down and kill Sarah Connor. You would not have the Terminator franchise without Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, you wouldn't have T2 or any of the other sequels, for lack of a better term. No matter how much you like them or hate them, you know, they would not be the same without Arnold Schwarzenegger. He broke the mold with this film. This is a scary action thriller. When he bursts into the scene at tech noir and he points that gun and gets shot and gets back up, you know this is not something to be messed with. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for, my number one pick for Arnold Schwarzenegger films, and it is none other than the absolute iconic Predator. This film is, without a doubt, one of the best action films ever made, and of course it would not be the same if it did not star Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger commands the screen in this film. He is Dutch. He leads his team into the jungle. They face off against the Predator. He comes out. Great one-liners in this. Yes, it's an ensemble cast, but I mean, the star is Arnold and the star is also the Predator. And they face off against each other really well. It's great action, great comedic timing from Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's without a doubt the best action film. And I have very fond memories of this one. Growing up watching this, Saturday afternoon, I'd watch this probably at least once every couple of months. Fantastic. Still holds up to this day as one of the best, if not the best, Arnold Schwarzenegger film ever. Best Arnold Schwarzenegger film ever. So there you have it. I want to say thank you again to Gareth from Video Tasties for letting us do this. This is great, but I want to see everyone else's choices, what they chose as the best Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Did you rank the top 10 or did you choose 3 like I did? I want to see what you've got. But thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
The 90s. In 1990, he did 2 more films. Getting His Ass to Mars for Paul Verhoeven's Total Recall. More sci-fi action. And more comedy with Kindergarten Cop. Who'd have thought he'd be a good teacher? Directed by Ivan Reitman again. And then in 1991, he returned to one of his earlier roles in The Terminator. Probably his biggest film ever. Back with a bigger budget for James Cameron. Then in 1993, his first major flop, Last Action Hero. Supposed to be spoofing the films that he made. People didn't get the joke back then. In 1994, back again with 2 more films. So we have back working with Cameron for True Lies, a massive action film of the day. And then back to an unfortunate comedy called Junior, which reteaming with Ivan Reitman and Danny DeVito, but seeing Arnie getting pregnant isn't as fun as they thought it would be. In 1996, he returned to Terminator again in a semi-sequel to Terminator 2, 3D Battle Across Time, which was a 30-minute film or something like that.
Whoa, where are we?
The future. Final battle between humans and machines.
Great, I'd rate this rescue about a 2. Maybe a 1.
Sadly, I never got to see that, which I wish I had. But he also did 2 films that year in action film Eraser, which is spectacular. It's a pretty good one. And comedy again, Jingle All the Way, which I wasn't a fan of when it was released, but I do now watch it every year. In 1997, he did his first superhero movie, Batman and Robin. And his ice puns are what people most remember of that film. And then he took some time off to recover from a heart operation he had, and ended the decade with 1999's End of Days, a sort of action horror film.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Jason. Welcome to Backtrack Cinema, and this is a video entry for Gareth at Video Tasties, where he gave us an option. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger themed, to either give us our top 3 favorite Arnold movies or rank 10 Pacific Arnold Schwarzenegger films. So the ones we got to rank are Terminator, T2, Conan, Predator, The Running Man, Last Action Hero, Total Recall, Red Heat, and Raw Deal. I think I got all of them. If I don't, I apologize. Anyway, there's 10 that we got to rank. It's his like 80s, early 90s ones. That would be the ranking today. So this will be how I would rank these films. All right, so let's get to it. So coming at number 10 is Raw Deal. Raw Deal was, I had an okay time with it. I found the character pretty good. Arnold's character. I just found the movie really slow paced and kind of boring. I do like the way it starts, where he's the sheriff of this town, where he's kind of like in protection and stuff like that, and he comes out, did his undercover job. But this movie just was very slow paced for me, so that's why I got it there. Coming at number 9 is Red Heat, and this was a first time watch. Red Heat was good. It is same director, Walter Hill, as 48 Hours. But I didn't really buy the chemistry of James Belushi and Arnold as much as other buddy cop kind of movies. I thought Arnold's character, I didn't find him very likable. I didn't find him very interesting. I felt like that persona of Arnold wasn't there in this film. But other than that, it was an okay time. I had an okay time, these guys going on this case, and there's some decent action in it. I felt like I could have used a lot more, but it was an okay time for me for this one. Coming at number 8 is The Running Man. The Running Man I haven't revisited in such a long time. Just watched it yesterday. The Running Man was great. It's 80s cheesy fun, but it's a blast. You'd see a lot of movies taking this concept and making their own kind of version of it. Like when the Hunger Games came out, I always felt that was kind of like The Running Man in its own, in a weird way. Arnold's on top of this one. It has a pretty good villain. We got Jesse Ventura in it returning. You know, they work together on Predator. So this one was a blast. It almost felt like a John Carpenter movie to me in a lot of ways, but that one's a blast. Coming at number 7 is The Last Action Hero. This is another one I just revisited for this video. I had a great time with this one. This meta approach to the action genre, really ahead of its time, was this 1993, I think. And you can really relate to this young boy. At least that's the way I was when I was a young boy. I just get lost in these action films, and the way he's coping with his father's death is by, you know, looking at his favorite action hero. Man, us action guys, how do we not relate to something like that? I just love that. And I love how he goes into the movie world, then they go into the real world, and I like how it's filmed really different. John McTiernan in the director's chair, you know, Predator and Die Hard. Great guy to do this, and this is just a really fun flick. Coming at number 6 is Total Recall. Total Recall is one of those great sci-fi action flicks. Great villain in Michael Ironside. Arnold is at the best here. This is a very good story and plot. I love seeing Sharon Stone in it. It's got great comedy to it. It's got great action sequences in it. You know, it can be a bit of a mind fuck, which is nice. And just love this thing overall. Paul Verhoeven, back in, he did Basic Instinct and he did RoboCop. So you really see that style in this movie. Coming at number 5 is Commando. Commando is an over-the-top 80s cheesy action flick that I just absolutely love. There's so many great sequences in this. That third act is absolutely badass. Bill Duke, the fight between Arnold and Bill Duke in this, you scared, motherfucker? Well, you should be. This Green Beret's gonna kick your big ass. And then, Arnold, I eat Green Berets for breakfast. And, this freaking smacking each other and just laying it down. Just a manly fucking movie, man. Absolutely love it. Coming in at number 4 is Conan the Barbarian. I absolutely love Conan the Barbarian. Great score. Great opening to this film where the music does everything. Like, look at that cover. That cover's beautiful. The the dun 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 dun, how it opens up, and then you see the village and everything, and you see this attack on Conan's village, and that's probably my favorite sequence in the whole entire film. But I just love seeing this journey to revenge that Conan takes on, and the people he meets. He falls in love on his way. The love interest, she gets killed, and then Conan's really pissed, and you get a badass third act where he just chops freaking James Earl Jones' head off. Just love it. Like, just a great fantasy adventure film. Coming at number 3 is Terminator 2. Terminator 2 is just one of the greatest action films ever made. I'll never take that away from it. T2 is just a blast. You see John Connor this time. You see Arnold playing a good Terminator, or T-800 reprogrammed, and Linda Hamilton's performance in this is absolutely incredible. I love Linda Hamilton in this. She's just a badass in this, man. She's the most badass person in this whole movie. Just love her in this. T2 is just, what a way to wrap up this 1-2 punch combo. I know we got other sequels after that, but no sequel compared to T2. As far in the Terminator franchise, I mean. Coming at number 2, Predator. I absolutely love Predator. I mean, this is the go-to guy's film. I swear, this movie will put hair on your chest. This movie will just make you feel like a man after watching it. It's awesome. Like this group of military guys who go in, they try to save these hostages in this hostile environment. Meanwhile, there's an alien that's stalking them one by one, and the movie starts off as this action flick, but then it turns into sci-fi horror and blends it so well, and it's seamless. And the creature design in the Predator is just one of the best thing I've ever seen. Still to this day, I love Predator. Get some guys, get some pizza, drink some beer, and watch some Predator, man. Absolutely awesome. But number one Arnold film of all time for me is The Terminator. The original Terminator. This movie is a frickin' blast, but it's also scary, great action. I mean, you're not in for a laughable good time. Nothing's cheesy in this, really. I even think, personally, I think the effects hold up for being how old this film is. You know what I mean? You could say the effects are a bit dated a bit, but man, Arnold is scary in this. The music, this techno music is great. Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn as Reese is awesome. And Linda Hamilton's arc in this, going from this damsel in distress to this, this mother of the future, and she just embraces it at the end there. Like when she compresses the Terminator in the machine, like, you're terminated, fucker. Absolutely love it. Just awesome stuff. And the movie, is debated a lot about, is it horror or action? It's a blend of both, really, but it's a horror film. It really is a horror film in a lot of ways. Like, if he lost his guns in the police station when he's attacking everyone in the police station, and he took the fire axe or something and started taking everyone out like that, then people would be like, oh, it's horror, it's slasher, it's got the gore, but that's brutal. That police station attack is just brutal, man. The way he just takes everyone out, he's just unstoppable in this. Love Terminator, man. Terminator is awesome. For those how I rank Gareth's picks for Arnold Schwarzenegger films, that's my ranking of them. Thank you, Gareth, for involving me in this video. It was a blast to do here, to talk Arnold. Love talking Arnold. Love talking Stallone. Love talking action. So yeah, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.
Hey there everyone, this is Jeff, aka 101 Bronson, channel known
for doing a lot of videos and a lot of movies. I love movies. I love my tough guy action movies, my old school action movies. And I've been asked today once again by Gareth Video Tasties to participate. Well, actually, it was an open invitation. It's not just that I was personally asked, but there was another open invitation to join one of these big collaboration videos that Gareth is doing. He did his previous one with the favorite film of 1989, which was a fantastic video. I love how it turned out. Everybody did great in that. Hope to see a lot of people collaborate with this video again. I always love hearing other people's opinions about these movies that I'm passionate about and everything. It's absolutely fantastic. And today, as you could probably see from the action figure, we are talking Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's going to be some impressions in this one. I hope to see some other people do it as well. But yeah, Garrett has given us two options, either do our top 3 Arnie films or our top 10 Arnie films based on the picture that he shared on his YouTube community tab and also on his Instagram post. Now, I have already done a top 10 Arnie films on my channel. Do recommend to check it out. It's on my channel. If it's too far to search back, I did a playlist of all my rankings. It should be in there. So I do encourage you to check that one out. However, Garrett did include a few movies in that picture that I haven't included in my top 10. So I'm sort of doing a revisit of my top 10 with this one. Including the movies that Garrett put in the picture, which for me, I think there were honorable mentions in my top 10. So I'm going to include, I think at least 2 of my honorable mentions are missing from the picture that Garrett posted, which are True Lies and Kindergarten Cop. Those were not in it, so those movies will not be featured in the video. Anyway, he has told us to keep this brief. I'm going to try my best, sir. However, let's go right away. At number 10, this is a film that he included. Raw Deal. This is the German Blu-ray. German title is The City Shark. It doesn't really make sense, but no, Raw Deal from 1986, 87, I think it was 86, in which Arnie plays a sort of undercover cop. He actually plays a small town sheriff. He has been removed from the FBI. He's been fired from the FBI, but this old FBI buddy comes to see him and ask him to do something for him because the FBI guy was a longtime friend of Arnie, has lost his son. So Arnie steps in, he goes undercover into the mafia, and it's a kick-ass movie. It's really an underrated Arnie film. I do really like it. As a matter of fact, Gareth and me are doing this one as a watch party in February, so look forward to that. I love this film. Not too many great one-liners in this one. I do like, you know, when he says, when Ed Lauder asks him, Joey P. Brenner, what does the P stand for? Pussy. I do like that one, but yeah, Raw Deal, number 10. Number 9, this one was in my original top 10. It's The Running Man from 1987. Classic Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. So many great one-liners in this one.
Hey, Lighthead! Hey, Christmas tree! You cold-blooded bastard! I'll tell you what I think of it. I'd live to see you eat that contract, but I hope you leave enough room for my fist because I got to ram it into your stomach. I break your goddamn spine!
Arnie plays Ben Richards, a person actually working for the government, and he actually gets framed for something that he didn't do. So he's a convict, he escapes from prison, and then he gets picked up again and is forced to enter into this dangerous sort of television contest event, television program called The Running Man, which is run by this really crazy sort of game show host who actually is played by Richard Dawson, a real-life game show host. It's a classic Arnie film filled with classic Arnie moments, great lines, some great action scenes. Overall, it's a terrific film. At number 8, we have the buddy cop classic Red Heat from 1988 with Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Belushi, which this is a fantastic movie. This was a honorable mention for sure in my top 10 when I did it on my channel, but this is definitely a great film with Belushi and Arnie. Arnold plays a Russian cop who his partner gets killed by Victor Rasta, and he has to go to America to track this guy down. And in America, he's forced to work with Chicago police officer Ritzik, played by James Belushi, and the two make a great pairing. I think they have great chemistry together. It's typical buddy cop. They don't like each other at first, they learn to respect each other, and at the end they're sort of friends. you know, it's a great film. Directed by Walter Hill, who's one of my favorite directors anyway. He did 48 Hours, Hard Times with Charles Bronson. He did The Warriors. Fantastic director. He's done so many films, too many to name in this video, but Red Heat is a great film. I do check it. I do recommend it. There's some great Arnie lines in this one as well. Yeah, everybody knows the 44 Magnum is the big boy in the block. Why do you think Dirty Harry uses it?
Who is Dirty Harry?
Anyway, check it out. At number 7, we have, this one was on my top 10. This has always been one of my favorite Arnie films, A Last Action Hero. I love this film. And actually, as a surprise, Gareth, you're going to enjoy this. I do also have my VHS tape of this film. This was actually, I'm going to tell a little bit of a story for this one. This was actually my very first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I saw. It was right here, this VHS tape, this movie. This was the first Arnie film I've seen. Always loved it. Some great lines in there. It's always been sort of underrated for me. I've always loved it. There are a lot of people that don't like it. A lot of people are coming around to it these days. It's a film that definitely was a little bit ahead of its time. Terrific movie. I absolutely love it. Check it out.
You know, all those movies where they say make my day or I'm your worst nightmare. Well, listen to this one. Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Ha! You didn't know I was gonna say that, did you?
And now I think the list is really sort of going together with the one that I did on my channel. But next one is Total Recall. Absolutely love this movie with Arnold, Sharon Stone, Michael Ironside, Ronnie Cox, directed by Paul Verhoeven, music by Jerry Goldsmith, a great music score. I absolutely adore this film. Again, filled to the brim with great Arnie lines.
You wouldn't kill me now, would you, sweetheart? Be reasonable. After all, we're married. Consider that a divorce. See you at the party, Richter. Come on, Cohagen, you got what you want. Give these people air.
You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here, Hauser.
Look who's talking. You are not you. You're me. Oh shit.
It's absolutely fantastic, this movie. It really is. It's one of my all-time favorites. What more can I say? Let's just move on. At number 5, we have sort of Arnold's big breakthrough film. The first real film that really sort of made him known. It's Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, this was before Terminator. He would do Terminator shortly after. This is the first one where we sort of really gathered attention from people. I love Conan the Barbarian. Great revenge movie, great sci-fi, not really sci-fi, how you call it? Fantasy, a little bit of a fantasy film. Sword and Sandal film. I love it. I know a lot of people prefer Arnold in his big action roles. They like to see him as a Terminator more than a barbarian. They like to see him with a Uzi rather than a sword. But for me, I can take both. You know, I love Conan. Let's move on.
Crush your enemies. See them do it before you. And hear the lamentation of the women. Grant me revenge. And if you do not listen, then the hell with you.
Coming in at number 4, one of the biggest Arnold classics, one of the biggest hits. Everybody knows this film. I know quite a few people who would easily have this as their number 1 Arnold film.
Knock, knock.
It is. Number 4 is Predator for me. Absolutely classic film directed by John McTiernan with Arnold, Carl Weathers, Jesse Ventura, Sonny Landham. Great film. Great score by Alan Silvestri. Great mix of genres. There's action in there. There's a little bit of sci-fi in there for sure. A little bit of horror. Not really much, but there's a little bit in there. Suspense for sure. It's a great film. Absolutely love it. Great lines. One of Arnie's famous lines is in it.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
I cannot recommend it more. Check it out.
Stick around. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Number 3, we have one of the best Arnie films. Next up is Commando. Again, German Blu-ray. Don't pay attention to the title, but it is Commando. You guys will recognize the poster. Yeah, man. Somewhere, somehow, someone's going to pay. What a great 1985 film. It is a film with it has a lot of flaws for sure. I mean, a lot of continuity errors. We all know the famous one with the Porsche. It's damaged one moment, the other moment it's not. Absolutely filled to the brim with Arnold lines. This is definitely This movie is just one line after one line after one liner. It's absolutely fantastic.
Hey, Matrix, have some beers under the valve already. Gives a little more time with your daughter.
You're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's so good to kill you last.
Commando, 1985. Arnold has to rescue his daughter, Jenny, Alyssa Milano, from the bad guys, and he has to take on Bennett. Let's party. Absolutely fantastic. Moving on.
I met myself in when I promised to kill you last. That's right, Matrix. You did. I lied.
Number 2. Is this really going to surprise anyone? It's the original Terminator from 1984. Absolutely fantastic movie. And Arnold as the unstoppable killing machine just doesn't stop ever. Literally, like Kyle Reese says, until you are dead. It's a perfect concept. I think it's perfectly done. Has some of the effects aged? Yes, they have. You know, but I think it's still watchable. I think it's still great, entertaining film. Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn, they gave a great performance as well, besides Arnold. Everybody in the film is terrific. Great music by Brad Fiedel. I love the music score in it. Fantastic. The Terminator at number 2.
12 gauge autoloader, the 45 long slide with laser sighting. Brandon, we just got him in. Just press the trigger and you get the dot, red dot where you want the bullet to go. You can't miss. Anything else? Phase plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
It's just what you see, pal.
The Uzi 9mm.
Know your weapons, buddy.
Any of these is ideal for home defense. So what do you want? All.
I closed earlier today.
There's a 14-day waiting period on the rifles, on the guns, but the rifles you can take right now.
Hey, you can't do that.
Wrong!
Would it really surprise anyone to find out that my number 1 is Terminator 2 Judgment Day? I don't think so, but here it is anyway. Yes, my all-time favorite Arnold film, my all-time favorite action film, to be honest. For me, this is a perfect movie. This is a 10 out of a 10. This is an untouchable movie. The effects still hold up to this day. It's CGI mixed with practical, which is the way it should be done. You should use CGI as a last resort. Movie studios, not just on a whim, not just for everything. James Cameron did it perfect way back in 1991. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I still to this day, I'm not afraid to admit, I still to this day cry every time when we get to the end, and you know, we have that scene where he has to leave and everything. It's a great, fantastic movie.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
No. You gotta listen to the way people talk. You can't say affirmative or some shit like that. You say, no problemo. If you want to shine them on, it's hasta la vista, baby.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Yeah, chill out. Later, dickwad. Now you can do combinations.
Chill out, dickwad.
Yeah, see, now you're getting it.
No problemo. Wait here. I'll be back.
Wait, you promised.
Trust me.
Anyway, those are my top 10 Arnie films based on that picture again that Garrett shared, the assignment that we got. Garrett, if this is a little bit over, I do apologize. I tried my best. Anyway, can't wait to see the next one. Can't wait to see this entire video. Keep punching, everyone. I will see you all very soon. Take care.
The 2000s. So starting off in 2000, we got The Sixth Day. More sci-fi, less action. That's still a pretty good film. Then in 2002, he did Collateral Damage, but due to 9/11, it suffered at the box office. But it's not the best film either. Then in 2003, he needed another hit. We're back with Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines, which is not the worst film in the Terminator franchise, but more of a sci-fi action than any Terminator film. In October of 2003, Schwarzenegger was elected governor of California as the Republican in a special recall election. He was the governor until 2011, and then it was revealed he had fathered the child with the family's living maid, and Shriver filed for divorce.
Hello guys, this is Joshua from Future Filmmaker Reviews. I talk movies, TV, music, and anime, and I'm here on Garrett's channel, TV Talkies, and he asked me do I want to be a part of this video. I said yes, and this is going to be very quick and easy. I'm giving you guys my list of 3 different movies I enjoy from Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this is a pretty complicated one, but I managed to pick 3 I like the most. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of the best action stars ever. I do respect the guy. He has some duds, but I do respect Schwarzenegger for the most part. But this is gonna be a list of my top 3 picks for the movies of his. So with that being said, this is going to be quick and easy. So number 3, I'm going to go with a movie I just reviewed, True Lies. I reviewed this on my channel. It's part of my Cameron review series leading up to Avatar 2, which I still need to review. And I'm glad this is about to get a Blu-ray and 4K high quality release. I'm looking forward to that release, but True Lies is an underrated James Cameron action film that not many people talk about and forget it's a James Cameron film. I love the action in the movie. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger, his performance is very good. Tia Carrere does a good job in her small role. You got people like Bill Paxton and Grant Heslov, Art Malik as a fun cartoon villain. You have like Disco, of course, in one of her first roles. Action is pretty good. I like the effects. The music is good. Everything technical wise is solid. And Jamie Lee Curtis also does a very good job in the movie as well. As I say in my review, yes, it does go on for at least a bit too long. And Bill Paxton, you could have, in some moments, you could have trimmed to make the film a little bit more tangible for the runtime that this movie has, but this showed that James Cameron could still do action, and Arnold Schwarzenegger is still at the top of his game. So True Lies is definitely my top 3, and it is worth a price of admission. If you haven't seen it, it's awesome. And not to mention, you get bonus points for the infamous dance scene with Jamie Lee Curtis. That was something very hot to see, and also that was also pretty awesome to witness, and very funny too.
Doll? On the court. Bugs. Shoot.
In second place, we're gonna go with the original Predator from 1987, the one that started off this long-running franchise. Predator is the most manliest 80s awesome badass film you'll ever see. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, Bill Duke, Shane Black, and all the performances in this movie. There's not a lot of girls in the movie, I'll admit, but the manly characters does make this awesome. I do like the direction of this movie by John McTiernan. I love the jungle setting. The idea and the premise is very simple. I love Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator, one of my favorite alien creatures. He's an icon. He's awesome. And some very good one-liners, some very fun character development. You don't get a lot into character development, but for the character development you do understand why they are a part of the mission. And that climax with the Predator and Arnie's Dutch is one of the best climaxes in any sci-fi film, any creature feature. And yes, despite having some pretty hit and miss movies with Predator 2 and Predators and The Predator, and recently Prey, which was actually pretty solid, and the Alien vs. Predator movies, mainly Requiem, I still enjoy Predator overall as a franchise for the most part, and this first Predator movie is still one of the greats. One of Arnold Schwarzenegger's best films. It's enjoyable, it's awesome, and it gets the job done. So Predator is number 2. And my number 1 favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film here is gonna go with Eraser. This is underappreciated like hell. I think this is one of those misunderstood films that no one really likes to talk about. It's a good Schwarzenegger action thriller. It was very interesting plots. Chuck Russell, that guy knows how to direct Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Mask, and this. So definitely he knows what he's doing. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's very good in this movie. He's charismatic, he gets the job done. You have the gorgeous Vanessa Williams, who at the time, She was basically the Daniela Melchior of the 90s, but it still looks beautiful to this day. You also have James Caan, the late James Caan, as the villain, James Cromwell, so many good other ones. It's very tense, it's very intriguing. I like the characters, I like the story, and this is the one that I think should be in more of appreciation when it comes to Arnold Schwarzenegger, because this is a very solid movie that is just very overlooked and very underappreciated. If you have not seen Eraser, I would definitely give it at least a watch to see if you like it. If not, then at least you tried. But Eraser is very underrated. One of my favorite Schwarzenegger films and one of the best action movies in the 90s. And it deserves more appreciation than what it gets, because I truly think Eraser is actually a very strong movie. And that's my thoughts. Well, that's gonna do it for my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I would like to thank Gareth for having me over to the channel. Be sure to check out his channel. Give him a subscribe if you haven't. If you are new to his channel, or if you're someone who watches his channel, definitely consider coming over to my channel. I do movie reviews, live streams, top 10, the rankings, anime. I talk movies, TV, anime, and music. All my social media links will be down there, over there on my channel, and I'm very happy and grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this collaboration video. Stay epitastic, join the epitastic, and keep it cool. Bye bye.
In at number 3, The Terminator DVD Ultimate Edition, a Film Arena edition, which is really nice. In at number 2, Terminator 2, with fantastic lenticular on. I also have this Terminator 2 Film Arena. My number 1 Arnold Schwarzenegger film is Predator. Predator 3D Steelbook with lenticular. A DVD box set containing the first 2 Predator films. The Predator Steelbook. And finally, Predator on 4K in this 3 movie collection.
Hello, it's Steve from Movie Chat, and I've been asked for my top 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger films. Now, he has done so many. He's done Kindergarten Cop, he's done Junior, Collateral Damage, you know, just to name a few good ones there. Conan the Barbarian, for example. However, my 3 favourite films, it's got to be Running Man, Total Recall, and of course Predator. Now, as I said before, you've got all those great films that he's done over the time. However, when you see him as Richards or Quaid or Dutch, you know, it just takes him back to that original sort of action hero type role that we love to see him in. You know, not to take things away from Raw Deal, for example, or Red Heat, or The Escape Plan. You know, these are good films. You can forget the sort of Expendables and stuff like that he's made showings in. But no, these are the 3. And like I say, The Running Man is awesome. Game show type movie. You know, great story, well executed. You know, please don't remake this. I've heard rumours that they're going to remake this, but please don't remake this. The remake of this didn't work. You know, should have just kept the original. You know, we should be learning from this. You know, and you know, I'd like to see some of the comic book stories about Dutch and what happened after the Predator films come to life, and that's where we should be taking the Predator franchise, in my opinion. You know, but give us an older Dutch with a newer hero. You know, follow the comic book stories. Anyway, they're my 3 top Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. So thank you for Gareth for the invite to come back again. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Chats as well. Thank you very much. See you now.
Hello everyone, Pro Physical Media, and I'm back again for another video with Gareth from Video Tasties. You'll have to excuse me, my brain's working overtime right now, so I may stutter a little. But, reason we're here. Arnie! Now, when I first started collecting, Arnie was one of the actors that I really wanted to get as much of their filmography as possible, which bled into other actors, and I started to go a bit wild. Here is my Arnie collection, and I tried to make it sort of angled so you could sort of see the titles. Some of my Arnie films are in other collections. For example, the Expendables and Escape Plan films are with Stallone, and the Rundown, which has a cameo in, is technically a The Rock movie, so it's in with my The Rock films. That said, the reason I'm here is Gareth has tasked people with either doing a top 10 of the films he specifically chose from Arnie's filmography, or choosing your top 3. Now, two of my top 3 are going to be big popular ones. Probably everyone that has a top 3 will have at least one of these films in fact, I can probably guarantee one of them. But the third one, I guarantee it won't be in anyone else's top 3. Not at all. Which is one of the reasons I chose it, because I think it's bloody hilarious. But, that said, my first film is Commando. Saw this as a kid on VHS, absolutely loved it. The action scenes in it are fantastic. Arnie in general being Arnie is just, it's a complete all-in-one package film. It's serious, it's emotional, it has funny moments. My favourite scene in the film, where he's holding Sully over the edge of the cliff and he goes, "Sully, remember what I said I'd kill you last?" "That's right, Matrix, you did!" "I lied." And lets him go. Ah! Fantastic. My second film. I'm really hammering this out, sorry. We have 6 minutes. Second film. Jingle All the Way. Another really just, I say fantastic about a lot of things. This is like the definitive fantastic. When I say fantastic, I say things are great, but there are a few films which are just like, this is the standard things need to live up to. For me, this is one of those films. Arnie, again, just being a huge, fantastic actor himself. The role, trying to get this toy for his son, is just, of course, the one-liner from the film, "Put that cookie down, now!" Everyone knows it. You've heard the line even if you haven't seen the film. I urge everyone to watch that film. Yes, it's a Christmassy movie. Both me and Evan love it. You need to watch that film. Now, on to the one I doubt will be on anyone else's list. If it is, fair play to you. I spoke with the director over Twitter after watching it. I was just like, this is hilarious. I absolutely love this movie. I don't know why it gets as much hate as it does. It's just fantastic. There's that word again. And said that I just could not get this specific song out of my head, which is the song I will tell you about, because I won't do a quote. I'll tell you about that song, and I will ask you to go, even if you haven't seen the film, look it up, because it is so funny. The film I'm talking about, Arnie doesn't appear till a bit later in the film, and he is just, it's like he's Arnie times 10,000. He amps it up, hams it up. It is great. Takes the piss out of some of his previous lines. Full proper macho action tied in with complete humour. Now, if you're not a humour person for Arnie, you might not like it. But this is the film. Killing Gunther. Bunch of mercenaries trying to find Oh, wait. Gunther. The director being one of them. And I'm not going to say much more because I don't want to spoil it for you. It is hilarious. I urge you to watch it. If you've never seen it, watch it because it's got a lot of hate. And I mean more than Dark Fate did. So yeah, go, trust me, watch it once and then judge it. And before I go, because I'm on my last 20 seconds now, but thank you very much, Gareth, from Video Tasties, and make sure you check out the song from Killing Gunther called Earthquake Love. Google Earthquake Love by Cord Bilmont. That's Cord Bilmont. Thank you very much, Gareth, and everyone else. See you later.
Okay, so number three. Number three. We've both agreed on this one. It is a classic. It was Arnold
John
Rambo.
Matrix.
John Matrix.
John
Matrix. Okay, so number two, I think we both agree on this, and that is this fucker in here.
Yeah, he's spinning. You spin me.
Yeah. You are one ugly motherfucker. Okay, so number one, I don't think it's any surprise to anyone because it's common fucking sense.
Well, the thing is, I'm sure at one point we had a joint thing about Terminator 2 that they... Was that right?
No. You twatted me over the head because I said Dark Fate was better than the original. And I still, to this day, say it's more entertaining than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, what a film.
What a film,
dude.
What a film.
2010. So, after a small cameo in the first Expendables film, he came back with more of a part in Expendables 2, which has an all-star cast with Van Damme, Chuck Norris, etc. to join the fun. Going into the 2010s, he started making a lot more films, starting back in action in The Last Stand, where he plays a sheriff of a small town that an escaped prisoner is making his way to Mexico. And only one small town, a sheriff stands in his way. Then he re-teamed with his Expendables co-star and former rival Sylvester Stallone in Escape Plan, where both of them are on a prison ship and attempt an escape. 2014 saw him in a film called Sabotage, which was unfortunately severely edited. Still a good film, but it could have been a lot better. Then in 2014, he was back in the watered-down Expendables film, Expendables 3. He tried his hand at some serious stuff with 2015's Maggie, where he plays the father of a girl that's going to turn into a zombie. And in 2015, he returned as the Terminator in Terminator Genesis. Well, like the others after, the second one is a good sci-fi action film, but not really a Terminator film. Then in 2017, he's in the film Aftermath, which is based on a true story of two men that come together after a plane crash. In 2017, he played Gunther in Killing Gunther, where a team of assassins are trying to take him out. And it's played for laughs. In 2019, he had a small part in The Iron Mask with Jackie Chan, but it's not a major part, unfortunately. And finally, Terminator Dark Fate in 2019. It's probably his swan song from the Terminator films, and he is the best thing about it, pretty much. So as of now, that was his last film, and he has some upcoming films. One might be a Conan one, and one might be a twin sequel, but we shall see.
What's happening, Tapeoids? Rob's Vintage Video here. Today we're here to do a video for our buddy Gareth at Video Tasties. He's asked us to rank a certain 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger flicks. All great movies. Arnold Schwarzenegger is my favorite action star, so it was pretty difficult for me to put these 10 in order. I had to take some time to get it done, but I got it done. I think I made my list as truthfully as I can. I'm pretty sure it'll be controversial for some people, but what isn't? So yeah, I got all these tapes on VHS. I was super excited to dig into my pile, pull them all out and show them off. So I'm going to start with my number 10 and work my way to my number 1, and let's go. So number 10 coming in, it's Raw Deal. I think everybody can agree with that one. It only gets harder from here though. Number 9, Red Heat. Number 8, Conan the Barbarian. Number 7, Last Action Hero. Number 6, The Running Man. This is where it got pretty hard. Number 5, The Terminator. I know. Number 4, T2. And my top 3, coming in at number 3, Predator. Dylan. Number 2, Total Recall. And number 1, yes, you've guessed it, 1985's Commando. My favorite Arnie movie. Can't beat John Matrix. So thanks Gareth for having us. Thanks for everybody for watching, and enjoy your Arnie movies.
Hey, what's up everyone? This is Sean here, and today we're going to be doing a ranking video that was created by Video Tasties. And today we're going to be ranking these top 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. We have Conan the Barbarian, The Terminator, Commando, Raw Deal, Predator, The Running Man, Red Heat, Total Recall, Terminator 2, and Last Action Hero. Okay, coming in at number 10 is the 1988 film Red Heat. I've never been crazy about Red Heat, but it certainly is a fun action film for what it is, and surprisingly I don't own this film in my collection. So coming in at number 10 is Red Heat. And coming in at number 9 is the 1986 film Raw Deal. Raw Deal is another action film that I never really cared for, but it definitely is a movie that deserves more credit than what it gets credit for. And I prefer Raw Deal just a little bit more than Red Heat, and this is another Schwarzenegger film that I need to get into my collection. So coming in at number 9 is Raw Deal. And coming in at number 8 is the 1993 film Last Action Hero. I've always been a big fan of Last Action Hero since its initial release in 1993, and I know this film gets criticized a lot, but I feel like this is a way better film than what it gets credit for, and it's got a really good cast throughout it. So coming in at number 8 is Last Action Hero. And coming in at number 7 is the 1985 film Commando. I've always been a big fan of Commando, and it's such an intense action film overall, and I feel like one of the craziest things about Commando is just the simple fact that you have Arnold Schwarzenegger working with a very young Alyssa Milano. So coming in at number 7 is Commando. And coming in at number 6 is the 1987 film The Running Man. I've always loved this movie, The Running Man, and I feel like it has such an underrated cast overall, and I just love the simple fact that you have action and sci-fi combined into a game show concept. So coming in at number 6 is The Running Man. And coming in at number 5 is the 1982 film Conan the Barbarian. I've always enjoyed Conan the Barbarian since first seeing it when I was a kid, and I wish Arnold Schwarzenegger had more opportunities to make action-adventure films like this. But we did get a follow-up to this in 1984 with Conan the Destroyer. So coming in at number 5 is Conan the Barbarian. And coming in at number 4 is the 1990 film Total Recall. Total Recall is definitely up there as one of my favorite sci-fi films from the 90s. And Total Recall is just such a mind-blowing experience, and I remember the first time I saw this movie, I really couldn't comprehend what was going on, but at the same time, I fell in love with it. So coming in at number 4 is Total Recall. And coming in at number 3 is the 1991 film Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 2 is definitely up there as one of my all-time favorite sequels in general, and I just think it's pretty amazing what they were able to do early on with special effects in this movie and what they were able to do with the shape-shifting T-1000. So coming in at number 3 is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And coming in at number 2 is the 1987 film Predator. Now, Predator's up there as one of my all-time favorite movies out of any genre. It is such an intense action film. It is well casted. You got great performances throughout it. And once we finally see the Predator in this movie, it is such an image to be burned in your head forever. So coming in at number 2 is Predator. And coming in at number 1 for this Arnold Schwarzenegger ranking video, it is the 1984 film The Terminator. Now, I know picking The Terminator might be a little cliche for my number 1, but I feel like The Terminator is still up there as one of the most undeniable sci-fi action films of all time. And there hasn't been many other films to measure up to it, in my opinion. And this is also the first Arnold Schwarzenegger film that I've ever seen before. So coming in at number 1 is The Terminator. Okay, that'll do it for this ranking video. I just want to thank Video Tasties for creating this ranking challenge for the community. And if you're interested in getting in on this, I'm going to have his... Sorry about that, let's try that one more time. If you're interested in getting in on this ranking, I will have the Video Tasties channel linked down in the description, so go on over and check out his channel and find out the details. So that'll do it for this video. Thank you all very much for watching, and take care, everyone.
Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
I'm Handsome Stranger.
So?
Well, that's my name. I heard you have a telegram for me.
Boy, you talk funny.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
Okay, welcome back, and I wanted to do a video today for my friend Gareth at Video Tasties. So he asked, what is your top 10 Arnold films?
and I haven't really got a top 10. I like all Arnold, you know. I watched this film Conan recently again for the first time in many years, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I enjoyed it to its utmost. But of course, The Terminator is one of, if not the best Arnold films. He doesn't say much except fuck you asshole, and looking for Sarah Connor, and I'll be back, and all these good things. Shooting up the police station like a hero. Look, I got shot in the head, it don't faze me. But Commando's another good one. Again, doesn't say much except I lied, and I don't think he says I'll be back. No, he doesn't say this in this one. He just says I lied, and my friend is dead tired, and things like, oh, chop off the head, nice, in the throat. I'm gonna ask you a question. Chop off the fucking arm, yes. With the machine gun, yes, Predator. Again, it's very hard to choose between Terminator, Predator, which is favorite. It's probably gotta be Terminator, but I do love the Predator. Billy, what is wrong, Billy? Wake the fuck up! Look, the Predator can't see me. I'm all covered in mud. Look at this machine will fuck up. I know Gareth won't be liking all these swear words on his channel, but I don't give a fuck. He can either bleep me or leave me out, I don't mind. I do this for me. The running man. Hey, light bulb! Hey, Christmas tree! Another one I really like. This one and Total Recall are about the same level for me. They're coming in at number 2, I think, in my top 10 Arnold. I think Predator and Terminator gotta be number 1. I kinda choose, even though I already choose, I said Terminator. I like Predator still. And Twins is another good one. I like Arnold when he is very funny. And he likes to, you know, he mix up the humor. He's got the humor all the way through, from Pumping Iron when he fuck up Lou Ferrigno. Here we go. Headbutt. Danny DeVito with the groin. Yes. And hit him with the guitar. Yes, in the head. Nice one. Go there, Danny. I love you. You're my brother Vincent. And what the fuck is going on? Break your neck. Watch out. There he goes. Look, you're gonna break your goddamn spine. And then the Total Recall again. Oh, it's such a good film. Look out for the big surprise. Oh, no, Jesus Christ. One fall down. Welcome to the party, Richter. And this is another one of my favorites. I actually see this in Leicester Square when it first come out with some people, and I had a thoroughly good time. And he's got to the toilet. I think, is it him? He wanted to go to the toilet. There is no bathroom, or is the girl? It's the girl with no bathroom, and the little boy. His daddy's naughty. He's a bad dad. He's a creepy father. I do not like this man. He deserved to die. But of course, Terminator 2, another great film from me. Of course, me. Robert Patrick as the Liquid Terminator. At first, you don't know if he's the good guy, the bad guy. Of course, he's a bad guy. Look at him. Look at his face. He looks like a rat. And he'll smash up. Look at him mashing me up. Oh, I feel so angry when I watch this. Beating me up. And Last Action Hero, another good film. It's got the comedy, it's got the action, it's got all the elements, you know, that make me good. It got the comedy, the action, it's good special effects for the time, you know. Jack Slater, he's got the humor with the poster of Sly Stallone as Terminator, the alternate reality, you know. This guy, he's messed up, man. He's the crazy killer. Another one, True Lies, I really like. Arnold and what's her face? Jamie Lee Curtis. She's very good in this film. I have to rewatch this film soon. It's good. He's a spy, and she's a bored housewife, and she wants a bit of action, so he gets her involved. And now Jesus, right in the eye, broken neck. And another one, Jingle All the Way. I like this one. My kids, I like this one too. Turbo Man. Got to give the present for the Christmas, you know. But Jesus, don't you joke, you stupid child. And he becomes Turbo Man. Oh, it's a really nice film with the young Anakin Skywalker. Young Annie. Oh, Jesus Christ, I nearly got him, but no, he dropped. And here we go back to my roots, pumping, and I like to pump. I like to feel the pump. And I hope you enjoyed my little video. Some curse words, I know, some bad impersonations. But this is what I do. It is rubbish, I know. But I hope you got pumped up, seeing lots of Arnold. And I hope you enjoy the pump as much as I do. Hasta la vista, baby.
The pump, 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 pump.
Boy, you talk funny.
Well, that's easy for you to say.
Pump.
Hi.
Hello again from the 80s Video Shop. I'm Rob.
I'm Chris.
And we're back.
Back again to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger and his movies.
Would you say the biggest movie star of the 80s?
Yeah, I think he'd probably go toe to toe with Stallone, would you say?
Yeah.
I know they had a bit of a running battle, didn't they?
Was there always mates?
No, I saw an interview with Schwarzenegger recently, and he said that they are now. They're always rivals of the films, and he sort of conned him to go into a rubbish film, which was Stop 'Em My Mum Will Shoot.
Right.
So Arnie was going to do that just to get on Stallone's nerves. So Stallone did it, and it was obviously that's what happened.
Excellent.
So a little bit of trivia for you there.
What was your first Arnie film?
My first Arnie film was Commando. I saw it at the cinema at Ripley.
Ripley Hippodrome.
Your granddad built, did he?
He did indeed. My great granddad.
Your great granddad, sorry. So Rob's great granddad.
Great granddad.
Great granddad.
I got to get it right.
Yeah. So I went there. I was 8, and I went with my next door neighbour and his dad. And that's when Ripley Cinema used to let you in if you had a parent with you. And I loved it. It was a bit sick with the head thing. You know, the saw in the shelf.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I loved it. And then after that was Terminator, so it completely confused me because I was like, when you're young, you're like, oh, he's a goodie. And then all of a sudden, is this like freaky robot who rips people's hearts out and stuff.
That poster was iconic for Commando.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. It was kind of everywhere. And I
Anyone
suppose...
can't see it, we've got it here. The big box.
Big box rental one.
With
and there's
Alyssa Milano in there.
Yeah. Yeah, as a kid, she was like one of them, wasn't she? You're like, oh, I want to be her friend.
I want to be her boyfriend.
Yeah, when you're a kid. But that film is that the director's cut? Because they cut it back for Britain, didn't they? They did
I don't know.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And there's now a proper version of it. It's only about 3 minutes longer. You see more of the shed scene, as I've been talking about. He chopped someone's arm off in that.
Yeah. Vernon Wells is in that film.
I mean, kind of like not the, I don't know, typical baddie, would you say?
No.
Do you know what I mean? He's like someone who'd like gone and do some sort of Freddie Mercury thing, and it's gone a bit wrong. But he's great in it.
It's
Do you know what I mean? It's like he's got like a bit of a tubby belly. He looks nowhere near like Arnold's equal. You think Arnold would just crush him, and he's actually pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's Commando.
Yeah.
What else are we going to pick?
My second choice. Now this is a tough one, so they're going to go toe to toe. So personally, oh my God, what have I watched most? I'm going to go for Terminator 1.
The original.
Yeah.
I'd go for that as well.
Terminator 1.
Yeah.
Now, you said I got a big deal about Terminator 2 because it was when Guns N' Roses released You Could Be Mine, and I went to the cinema and I was like massively getting into stuff then. But Terminator to me is a better film.
Oh, it's scary as well.
Scarier, it's a better story, and then they kind of explain too much in the sequels.
Yeah. Michael Biehn in it was one of the ultimate action stars, I think.
Why he proper like rocked it in 80s, didn't he? You got 84 Terminator, and I say 86 for Aliens, and then
The Abyss.
The Abyss. Again, I didn't like that character in The Abyss because
he had a moustache.
Maybe. Yeah. It's either you have a moustache and you stick with it, or you take it off and you don't ever have one.
Yeah.
He's a baddie, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so no.
In a traitory kind of.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Biehn ain't a baddie.
Yeah.
Is like Carl Reese, isn't he?
He's a friendly hero, isn't he? That's who you want Michael Biehn to be.
Yeah, you want him in the trenches with you, wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I would anyway.
So
So that's Terminator 1. James
what-
Cameron, the winner. I've seen the most.
It's got to be an obvious pick, hasn't it?
Yeah. Predator.
Probably one of the best action films of all time. Great
Definitely.
story, great effects.
Great story behind the story as well. That with the John Claude Van Damme thing.
Oh, yeah.
Being the original Predator, and it looked horrendous. John McTiernan's first film, who did Die Hard. Just all around amazing. Oh, probably one of Arnie's best performances as well, without being too critique about it, but Arnie was excellent in that film.
Predator's like one of those films like Dusk Till Dawn. It's almost starts off as one film, then becomes another. And a lot of people make this comment. I think in hindsight, it's justified. The opening of Predator, I'm sure everybody's seen it by now, but there's no spoilers now. You see the spaceship at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think it would have been better if you didn't see the spaceship at the beginning and it starts off like a military film.
I think that was, again, I've watched loads of stuff about Predator. That John McTiernan didn't want that in it.
Okay.
But that was part of the thing, you had to have it in, and he completely forgot all about that at the start of the film. And it's the kind of thing that, in my head, I've sort of deleted, sort of subconsciously. So it's like, okay, whatever, there's nothing to do, and I forgot all about that. But I still don't get the first bit. I've watched it so many times, I don't really get what the mission is.
Okay, it doesn't matter though.
No, it
It's
don't
all
matter.
leading into that.
Yeah, it'll lead into the Predator.
But what a cast in this as well.
Yeah.
Jesse Ventura, Carl Weathers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just Sonny Landon, who was absolutely insane, bless him. There was also an Action Jackson. You got Running Man, and Predator came out in the same year, both with Arnie and both with Jesse Ventura in it.
Very cool, man.
Trying to think of any more links before I run out. That's about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, Cook. Bill Duke was in Commando as Cook, which is what Arnie says to him there, if you can see. And there was Mac in Predator.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you kind of realise, I think the older you get, you realise how incestual Hollywood is. It's like the music scene and everything. Everybody knows everybody, and it's a much smaller group of
definitely.
people.
They kind of like you go to Goons, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where it's like, he was in Lethal Weapon and Die Hard. I mean, he was
the more you watch these films, the older you get. So I think there are three. So let's line them up, mate.
Yep.
There we go. Stick that one in the middle.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? But
You can't argue with that.
No. Here at the 80s Video Shop, that's what we're going for. So thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Hello, I've been asked to rank 10 particular Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, and I'm going to try and do so as quickly as possible so I don't go over the time limit. So straight away, number 10 for me is Red Heat, the only film in this list that I've not actually seen the whole of. So I can't remember why I didn't finish it. I think it starts this with Arnie killing somebody in a sauna, maybe, but I just couldn't get into it and I never went back and finished it off. So by default, it's number 10. Number 9, I have Last Action Hero, a very sort of meta Arnie film where he plays a guy called Jack Slater who kills like 200 guys in Jack Slater 4, and then in the next one he only kills 50 guys because he's working on his character development. There's lots of fun, cool nods to past Arnie films in this. I've not seen it for a while, but it's a whole lot of fun if you've seen a lot of Arnie's other films. Right, number 8, I've got Conan the Barbarian, and I'm glad that this one is to be in the list and not Conan the Destroyer, which I remember a lot less, but Conan the Barbarian's fun. It's sort of like a violent version of He-Man, and there's a giant snake in there somewhere. It was a film that always used to be on TV when I was growing up. It's pretty damn cool. Number 7, I have Raw Deal, which is basically just Arnie shooting people all the way through the film. It's got one really cool sequence where Arnie has to drive around this coal mining pit and he plays the Rolling Stones on the radio. That is just an amazing scene. Number 6, I've got Commando, which is sort of like Raw Deal, but better. It's got a little bit more variety in terms of the kills, and it's a little bit more emotional because Arnie's daughter's life is on the line. Fantastic film, Commando, with a legendary ending where he kills about 100 people when he storms the villain's island. Right, let's move into the top 5. And at number 5, I've got The Running Man, a film that me and one particular friend watched about 20 times during our A-level years because we just loved all the jokes. This is probably the funniest film I've ever seen that is not officially a comedy. It's just got so many amazing little moments just sprinkled all the way through it. Absolutely brilliant film. I love the soundtrack too. Number 4, I've got Predator. I prefer Predator 2 personally, but this first Predator film is still amazing. Arnie and a bunch of big muscled commandos being stalked by an alien in the jungles of somewhere, and they kill a load of drug cartel people as well. It's just a top-notch action film. Number 3, I've got Terminator 1, probably the first ever violent movie I ever watched. I was only about 5 at the time, shouldn't have been watching it, but a legendary film, and it kicked off a franchise that I still absolutely love even today. And that leads me nicely to my number 2, which is Terminator 2. I can't really split Terminator 1 and 2. There's not much between them. I suppose I just about plumped for 2 because it's got a little bit more in terms of the characters, and I think James Cameron just maybe slightly perfected it, I think, second time around. Number 1 then, for me, it is Total Recall, just one of the most amazing sci-fi films I've ever seen. Mars looks fantastic in this. I think the story is great. I always forget the story. I've seen this film like 10 times. Every time I come to it anew, I always feel like I'm watching the story again for like the first time because it's a very easy story to forget, but you've got great villains in this, some really great splattery violence, Arnie at the peak of his powers, and for me, it just about edges the 2 Terminator films. So there we go. I've ranked all 10 Arnold Schwarzenegger films that I was asked to. Cheerio, bye-bye.
I'll be back. I'll be back, Benny. I'll be right back. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'm back. Stay here. I'll be back. I'll be back. Ha! You didn't know I'm gonna say that, did you?
That's what you always say.
I do? It's nice to be back. Yeah. I might be back. You'll be back. She'll be back. I'm back.
Everybody keeps waiting for you to work it in. It's kind of like your calling card.
I'm back. I'll be back. You've been back enough. I'll be back.
I'll be back. I know.
Dear Anders the Lash.
Hey, that's my line.